fuselage and tail are built in Napoli, Italy. The wing is assembled in Mérignac, France. The engines are Pratt & Whitney, Canada. The propellers come from Hamilton Sundstrand Ratier in Figeac, France. Final assembly and flight tests take place in Toulouse, France. The airframe structure includes composite components and parts. Some are made with carbon, some others with Kevlar, and finally some with fiberglass. Here are the external dimensions of the ATR-72. Length, span, height. Outside fuselage diameter, wing area, wheelbase, track. Propeller diameter, clearance fuselage propeller, distance between engines. ATR-72-600 typical in-service OEW is 13,500 kilograms. The maximum payload at typical in-service OEW is 7,500 kilograms. Up to a maximum zero fuel weight, MZFW, of 21,000 kilograms. In that case, it can carry up to 2,000 kilograms of fuel to reach the maximum takeoff weight, MTOW, of 23,000 kilograms. But total fuel capacity is 5,000 kilograms. Maximum landing weight, MLW, is 22,350 kilograms. Maximum taxi weight is 23,170 kilograms. The cabin layout and seating capacity depend on passenger and freight combinations. From the front of the fuselage to the rear, we find the cockpit, the forward cargo compartment, the passenger compartment, the lavatory, the aft cargo compartment. ATR-72-600 versions are available with a passenger compartment ranging from 64 to 74 seats. The ATR-72-600 benefits from the widest cabin in the turboprop market, providing maximum passenger space and setting high standards of comfort. The maximum cabin width is 2.57 meters, while the maximum floor width is 2.263 meters. The maximum cabin height is 1.91 meters and minimum cabin height is 1.425 meters. The aisle width is 45.7 centimeters. The two turboprop engines of the ATR-72-600 are numbered as follows. Engine 1 on the captain side, left. Engine 2 on the first officer side, right. The ATR 72-600 turboprop engines are Pratt & Whitney PW127M. The engine is built around a low and a high-pressure spool with a free turbine which drives a propeller through a reduction gearbox. At max power, the propeller rate reaches 1200 RPM, where the propeller free turbine ratio is 1:16. It delivers a takeoff power of 2,475 shp, with a maximum rated power of 2,750 shp. A propeller brake system is installed on the right engine, allowing engine start without propeller rotation. Once started, electrical and air conditioning supply are available. Called hotel mode, it can only be selected on ground. The ATR 72-600 performance and weight capacity make it one of the best compromises for passenger and freight transportation on a regional network. It can be operated profitably from very short runways everywhere. It is certified up to an altitude of 25,000 feet. Maximum cruise speed is 275 knots true airspeed, and a maximum range of 830 nautical miles at full payload can be achieved. The ATR 72-600 is also capable of short landing distance performance. The cockpit of the ATR 72-600 is the glass cockpit evolution of the ATR family. The new avionics greatly reduce pilots' workload and enhance situational awareness and safety. 5 display units, DU, cluster the information about aircraft and system status as follows. 2 primary flight displays, PFD, which group data related to the flight, such as attitude, speed, speed trend, altitude, and auto-flight control modes. 2 multifunction displays, MFD, which group data related to navigation, with navigation display, ND, which locates the aircraft position and progress along the flight plan entered in the Flight Management System, FMS. The MFD can host also the System Display, SD, which displays systems status. A Central Engine and Warning Display, EWD, gives information and alerting messages. The Permanent Data Window regroups essential information on engine status, fuel and control surfaces, trims and flap settings. The Caution and Warning Window displays malfunction titles. The EWD Procedure window displays the appropriate procedure according to the flight phase or the following failure procedure to follow after a possible malfunction. An Integrated Electronic Standby Instrument, IESI, serves as a backup reference in case of display's failure. The minimum crew to fly an ATR 72-600 is composed of 2 pilots. To facilitate the pilot's installation, The two seats are stowed away by sliding them laterally against the flight deck sidewalls. When in position, the pilot's reclining seats can be adjusted horizontally and vertically. A visual seat position gauge can be used for seat adjustment. The pilot aligns the colored balls to ensure proper sitting position. The rudder pedals can be adjusted forward and backward for best comfort. A third foldable seat, located on the front panel of the cockpit door, is used as an observer seat. For system status monitoring, ATR uses the dark cockpit philosophy, which consists of extinguishing all panel lights when systems are operating normally. A silver border outline differentiates the push-button PB switches. Some push-buttons have an additional fluorescent amber outline to facilitate their localization in case of low visibility, smoke in the cockpit, for example. The push-button color coding is dark or not illuminated in normal operating conditions. The use of lights to indicate a normal operating status is limited to a minimum. Blue for manual and temporary system selection. For example, on, associated with external power or de-icing systems, ignition with manual ignition, and high in airflow cabin ventilation selection, and manual with cabin temperature selection. Green when a system starts automatically. For example, run with fuel pumps or avail with external power availability. White when a system is set to off. Amber for system malfunction indication or push-button mismatch with system status. It is generally associated with the master caution and single chime. For example, fault associated with the direct current generator 1, overheat with cabin temperature selection, or leak with engine bleed. The annunciator lights have no silver lining and their color is representative of system status. Not illuminated for normal operating condition. Blue for manual and temporary system selection. Green when the system is automatically activated. White when the system is set to off. Amber for caution. The malfunction does not require an immediate crew action. Red for warning. Here the situation requires an immediate crew action. On display units, system status are also shown using the same color coding. Green for normal operation. Blue for manual and temporary system selection. White for off system setting. Amber for caution. And red for warning. A reinforced cockpit door is installed between the cockpit and the forward cargo compartment. It shall ensure the following functions: flight crew privacy area, main cockpit and cabin access, main cockpit emergency exit. Regarding safety, the secured door protects the cockpit crew against hazardous trajectory of bullets or debris. The door allows air ventilation in case of rapid decompression. Smoke cannot penetrate between the cockpit and the cargo compartment. The system provides electrical locking and unlocking of the cockpit door through a control unit located in the nose landing gear avionics bay. The system is mainly composed of a reinforced cockpit door which opens aft, a door control panel installed on the right door panel, a cockpit door control panel installed on the pedestal and accessible from both flight crew seats, a cockpit door control switch installed behind the first officer seat, the cockpit door locking system control switch is located behind the first officer's seat. When the switch is set to off position, the cockpit door locking system is deactivated. The door is unlocked. When the switch is set to on position, the cockpit door locking system is operative. Note, the on position of the switch is secured. The cockpit door control panel is composed of a buzzer, a fault open indicator, and a 3-position toggle switch. The open position is used to enable the cabin crew member to open the cockpit door. The switch is spring-loaded to the close position, meaning that the switch must be held and maintained in the open position until the right door panel is pulled open. Note, the open position overrides and resets any previous selection. In close position, the door is locked. Only emergency access procedure is possible. Once switch has been moved to deny position, the door is locked and emergency access, buzzer and door call panel are inhibited for 3 minutes. The switch is spring-loaded to the close position. Note, if the deny position has not been used by the pilot for at least 3 minutes, the cabin crew is able to request either the routine or the emergency access. When open light is on, it indicates the door is not closed. When open light is flashing, it indicates the cabin crew has started an emergency access procedure. When fault light comes on, a system failure has been identified or the control switch is in off position with aircraft powered. The buzzer sounds. For at least 2 seconds after the cabin crew has requested an access through the call push button on the door control panel, or continuously when the cabin crew has started an emergency access procedure. The door control panel is used by the cabin crew to request pilots to open the door. The call push button is depressed when normal access to the flight crew compartment is requested. It will activate a buzzer sound in the flight crew compartment for at least 2 seconds. The open green light illuminates steady when the door has been unlocked, either by flight crew action or automatically when no flight crew action has been performed following an emergency request. The door will remain unlocked for 10 seconds. Cabin crew will need to pull the door to open it. The emergency push button is protected by a rotating plate to prevent inadvertent activation. It is depressed to initiate the emergency opening of the door when the flight crew does not respond. The open green light flashes for 30 seconds, together with the continuous buzzer sound in the flight crew compartment. After which, the door will automatically remain unlocked for 10 seconds with open green light illuminated steady. The deny light illuminates when the flight crew has denied access and the door remains locked. If no crew action is taken, the light remains illuminated for 3 minutes. The normal procedure to open the door is the following. Cabin crew member calls the cockpit. In the cockpit, the buzzer sounds for 2 seconds. Then flight crew should identify the person requesting entry through the door peephole. If entry is not authorized by the flight crew, cockpit toggle switch is set to deny position. Red denied light illuminates on door call panel and system will be inhibited for 3 minutes. If entry is authorized by the flight crew, cockpit toggle switch is set to open position. Then the door remains unlocked for 10 seconds and can be opened. The emergency procedure to open the door is the following. Cabin crew member depresses the emergency push button on the door call panel. In the cockpit, the buzzer sounds for 30 seconds and open amber light flashes on the central pedestal's cockpit door control panel and cabin door control panel. If cockpit crew does not answer within the 30 seconds, the secured door unlocks automatically. The video surveillance system is composed of 3 video cameras in the passenger cabin. A video display is installed in the cockpit near the right-hand oxygen mask. The first camera is a black and white video camera located left of cockpit door, monitoring the person requesting access to the cockpit. The second camera is a black and white video camera located on the cargo ceiling, monitoring the back of the person requesting access to the cockpit. The third camera is a color video camera located on the cargo cabin door, monitoring the cabin. The video display is located right of first officer. The monitor includes two control knobs, one rotary knob, on, off and brightness tuning. The knob is labelled off dim. One push button for camera selection. The button is labelled cam cell. When the monitor is powered, on position, it displays the output from video camera 1. With no action on the monitor during 3 minutes 10 seconds, the monitor returns to standby position, black screen. When someone requests access to the cockpit, the monitor displays automatically the output from video camera 1. The cam cell push button is used to choose camera 1, 2 or 3. They are displayed in sequence after each cam cell push button press. To force the monitor to standby position, the cam cell push button should remain depressed for at least 3 seconds. To activate the camera when monitors are on standby. The ATR 72-600 aircraft has 3 main doors. One cabin door located on the left rear part of the fuselage. One service door facing the cabin door on the right rear part of the fuselage. One forward cargo door located on the left forward part of the fuselage just behind the cockpit section. 5 emergency exits. 2 Type 3 emergency exits are located on each side at the front of the cabin part. One plug-type cockpit emergency hatch for the flight crew located in the cockpit ceiling. Both cabin and service doors are considered as Type 1 emergency exits. Several access doors for accessibility and maintenance. An hydraulic access panel located on the left landing gear fairing for hydraulic fluid level visual check in the reservoir and for accumulator pressure monitoring. Service access panels located on the belly fairing and used for toilet servicing and to fill up the water tank. An aft avionics compartment door located on the aft belly fairing in the unpressurized area, giving access to SSFDR and SSCVR. A refueling access door and a refueling control panel access door located on the right landing gear fairing and giving access respectively to the refuel coupling and refueling control panel. A ground air connection access panel on the lower part of the right landing gear fairing, giving access to the ground air connector, providing aircraft air conditioning when engines are shut down. And also a ground power unit GPU panel access door located on the right front part of the fuselage, giving access to the GPU ACW alternating current wild frequency and DC direct current plugs and mechanic intercom plug. A forward avionics compartment door located in the nose landing gear bay and giving access to the instrument panel rear side. A cockpit communication hatch located below the captain's side window, which allows documents exchange. A cargo door control panel access door located on the right of the cargo door, which allows control of the cargo door. All the doors of the pressurized section are monitored through the doors panel and the system display cabin page. When the doors are safely closed and locked, all lights are extinguished on the overhead panel and all doors are displayed in green on the system display cabin page. The doors panel and system display cabin page give indication for the cabin door, the cargo door, the forward avionics compartment door, the cockpit emergency evacuation hatch, the service door. A test push button with associated lights located on the doors panel is used to test the correct operation of the cabin and service doors, indicating status by checking both microswitches circuits. If a door is unlocked, the associated unlock amber light illuminates on the doors panel and the door will be shown unlocked on the system display cabin page. The cabin door is located on the aft left side of the passenger compartment and allows passenger and crew access. It is a non-plug type door, opening outward with a clearance of 1.75 by 0.72 meters. The door has an integrated foldable boarding stairway. Folding handrails are attached to the stairway and erect automatically with door opening. The opening mechanism is composed of an inner operating handle, an outer operating handle. A vent door is driven by the locking mechanism and evacuates any residual pressurization before door opening. If the cabin door is not correctly locked, the vent door stays open and aircraft pressurization is not possible. Viewports are provided on the stairs to indicate if the door is locked. If the door monitoring system test is failed, it is possible to visually check the latch lock pins condition through the viewports. A flag indicates when the door is locked or unlocked. If cabin door is closed and locked, doors panel remains dark, and its representation on the system display page shows a green bar. When at least one microswitch is in unlocked position, the cabin door is seen unlocked, and the cabin unlock amber light is illuminated on the doors panel. On the system display cabin, the cabin door is shown in amber. FWS is activated. Note, FWS is inhibited on ground if condition levers are below feather position or power levers are below flight idle position. The cabin door monitoring system can be checked through the SW Test push button located on the doors panel. It tests all cabin door microswitches. The test can be performed only when the cabin door is unlocked, all microswitches in unlocked position. If the microswitches test OK, the cabin OK green light illuminates. The cargo door is located on the left forward cabin, just behind the cockpit section. It gives access to the forward cargo compartment. It is a non-plug type door, opening upward with a clearance of 1.57 high by 1.30 wide meter. The door is electrically actuated. A hold open strut maintains the door open and secures it against wind gusts with a maximum of 45 knots. A vent door is driven by the locking mechanism and evacuates any residual pressurization before door opening. If the cargo door is not correctly locked, the vent door stays open and aircraft pressurization is not possible. Cargo door closing and opening is possible only from outside as a standard. Cargo door operation from inside the aircraft is optional. The cargo door is locked and unlocked by two mechanical handles. Cargo door electrical operation is performed from a control panel located outside, near the lower right side of the cargo door. The cargo door control panel is composed of a panel cover switch, bringing the ground handling bus online when the cover panel is opened. A ground handling bus on battery light. The red light is on when the ground handling bus is supplied by the hot main battery bus. Note, the light shows that the main battery is drained even with the battery toggle switch in the off position. The light is visible through a window when the cover panel is closed. A cargo bay light switch, which allows the cargo bay light to be switched on from the exterior. A cargo door latched blue light, which is illuminated when all door hooks and all latch locks are fully engaged. A selector armed green light, which is illuminated when the conditions to operate the cargo door are met. Cover panel open. Door unlocked by the operator, meaning that all hooks are disengaged and the forward latch lock is unfastened. An actuator selection switch, used to operate the door, opening or closing, when the green light select armed is on. To open the cargo door, open the cargo door control panel door. Then unlatch the door by pushing the flap away to grasp the handle of the upper lever. Depress the handle and pull the upper lever fully down. Confirm that the selector armed light is illuminated. Then put the actuator selection switch in the open position. When the door is fully opened, the electrical actuator stops automatically. Now lock the hold open strut to maintain the door opened. To close the cargo door, unlock the hold open strut. Confirm that the selector armed light is illuminated. Then put the actuator selection switch in the close position. When the door is fully closed, the electrical actuator stops automatically. Now latch the door by folding back the lever in its recessed housing. Make sure the cargo door armed latched blue light is illuminated. Then close the cargo door control panel door. Before leaving the aircraft, it is essential to check the ground handling on battery red light is extinguished. If the cargo door is closed and locked, the doors panel remains dark, and the door representation on the system display page shows a green line. When at least one microswitch is in unlocked position, the cargo door is seen unlocked, and the cargo unlock amber light is illuminated on the doors panel. On the system display cabin, the cargo door is then shown in amber. Flight warning system is activated. Note: flight warning system is inhibited on ground if condition levers are below feather position or power levers are below flight idle position. If the electrical actuator fails, and provided it is unlocked, the cargo door can be cranked open or closed manually. The manually operated jack is of the worm screw type and actuates the door through a reduction gear assembly box. The safe locking of the cargo door can be visually checked through viewports located on the cargo door outer skin. The latch lock pins are shown as locked, as unlocked. The service door is located on the right aft side of the passenger compartment. It gives access to the aft cargo compartment and to the galley. It is a non-plug type door, opening outward and forward with a clearance of 1.27 by 0.69 meter. The opening mechanism is composed of an inner operating handle, an outer operating handle. A vent door is driven by the locking mechanism and evacuates any residual pressurization before door opening. If the service door is not correctly locked, the vent door stays open and aircraft pressurization is not possible. To open the service door from inside, with your right hand, pull and turn the horizontal handle anti-clockwise. Push the door outward. The service door will lock automatically on the retractable hook protruding from the aircraft skin. To close the service door from inside, push the button to unlock the door by releasing the hook and pull the door. With your right hand, pull the right handle. Then, with your left hand, turn the left handle clockwise. To open the service door from outside, put the handle in open position. Then pull the door and push it towards the fuselage until it locks on the retractable hook. To close the service door from outside, push the button to unlock the door by releasing the hook. Then close the door and turn the handle to the left close position to lock it. Viewports are provided on the inner and outer skin to indicate if the door is locked. If the door monitoring system test has failed, it is possible to visually check the latch lock pin's condition through the viewports. A flag will indicate if the door is unlocked or locked. If the service door is closed and locked, the doors panel remains dark, and its representation on the system display page shows a green bar. When at least one microswitch is in unlocked position, the service door is seen unlocked, and the service unlock amber light is illuminated on the doors panel. On the system display cabin, the service door is shown in amber. Flight warning system is activated. Note: flight warning system is inhibited on ground if condition levers are below feather position or power levers are below flight idle position. The service door monitoring system can be checked through the SW Test push button located on the doors panel. It tests all service door microswitches. The test can be performed only when the service door is unlocked, all microswitches in unlocked position. If all the microswitches test OK, the service OK green light illuminates. The ATR aircraft is fitted with 4 emergency exits for the cabin. 2 Type 1 emergency exits, the cabin and service door located on the aft cabin, 2 Type 3 plug-type passenger emergency exits located on each side of the forward cabin. For the flight crew, an additional plug-type cockpit emergency hatch is located in the cockpit ceiling. The 2 Type 1 emergency exits. The doors can be opened from outside or inside. For the service door, which can only be opened if the locking pin is removed, the flight attendant lifts the handle forward and latches the door open. For the cabin door, the flight attendant lowers the handle and pushes the door. When the cabin door is completely down, the second handrail remains stored in down position. The cockpit emergency hatch. It is located in the ceiling of the flight deck. It opens inward and is hinged on the bottom. The unlocking/locking mechanism can be operated from inside and outside. Before opening the hatch, it is very important to disconnect the electrical connector and the water drain. The hatch is opened by pulling down and back the inner handle. This unlocks the hatch that will initially rotate on its forward hinges and will then fall down in the cockpit by gravity. The hatch can be closed and locked by reversing the opening procedure. If the cockpit hatch is closed and locked, the doors panel remains dark, and the hatch representation on the system display page shows a green bar. When at least one microswitch is in unlocked position, the cockpit hatch is seen unlocked, and on the doors panel, the cockpit hatch unlock amber light is illuminated. On the system display cabin, the cockpit hatch is shown in amber. flight warning system is activated. Note: flight warning system is inhibited on ground if condition levers are below feather position or power levers are below flight idle position.
ดุยไม่ได้งานเลย
ไอ้ดุยไปแล้วเหรอ กลับมาใคร
We consider 4 lighting categories: external lights, cockpit lights, emergency lights,
ทำไมตัวปีก็
and cabin signs and indications.
โปรแกรมมันไม่สมบูรณ์อย่างนี้แต่ตอนดูห้องล่างไม่เห็นเป็นอย่างนี้เลยก็ดูได้ปกติ
External lights are controlled through the external light overhead panel. This panel controls navigation lights, taxi and takeoff lights,
โปรแกรมที่เขาเอามาลงให้มันไม่สมบูรณ์
left and right landing lights, wing lights,
ผมพี่เป็นลงแล้วผมลงแล้วดูแล้ว
beacon lights, strobe lights, and logo lights. There are several cockpit lights which can be controlled: light panel, MIP PED rotary knob selects activation and intensity of main instrument panel and pedestal integral lighting. Overhead rotary selector selects activation and intensity of the overhead panel integral lighting. Annunciator light panel. Test position is used to check all panel and push-button lights. Bright position is used to illuminate associated lights at normal brightness. Dim position is used to illuminate associated lights at low brightness. The chart holder on the control wheel is illuminated by an integrated light. Flight compartment light panel. Dome switch for dome lights. Standby compass switch for integral lighting of standby compass. Storm switch to increase the central and lateral MIP light to increase brightness. It is used during night flights in stormy conditions to prevent being blinded by lightning. Light and recorder panel. The flood knob on the pedestal manages the activation and intensity of pedestal and front panel flood lighting. Side panel. The captain's lateral console can be illuminated through the knob located on his side panel. On the same side panel, a knob controls its reading light. The first officer can control his lateral console lighting and his reading light on the right side panel. In case of battery supply only or dual direct current generator loss, only the following lights supplied by direct current buses will illuminate. First officer dome light in bright only. Captain side floodlight. Pedestal spotlight and standby compass light. The lights operated from the flight attendant panel are cabin lights, which consists of 2 lateral rows of LED lights, ceiling lights, reading lights, galley lights and entrance lights, lavatory lights, aft cargo compartment light, and emergency lights. Note: as floor emergency lights are fluorescent type, they must be charged by the general cabin lights for at least 15 minutes before flight. Cabin signs are shown both on the flight attendant panel and on the passenger service units, PSU. The fasten seatbelts and no device signs are accompanied by a chime. In addition, each PSU is equipped with reading lights and a flight attendant call key. In the toilets, the fasten seatbelt sign is replaced by a return to your seat sign. Some lights can be operated from the outside by external control panels. The forward cargo compartment lighting by a switch located on the cargo door control panel. The nose landing gear bay light by a switch located on the AC GPU control panel. The main landing gear bay lighting by a switch located on the refueling panel, which has its own lighting when the panel is open. The aft avionics compartment bay light by a service light switch located at the entrance of the compartment. ATR 72-600 aircraft have a 2 minutes temporary illumination. For that function, depress the push button located on the right side of the cabin door entrance. It provides the illumination of exit sign on the cabin attendant panel, the forward cabin exit sign, and the cockpit entrance light. The push button located on the cockpit entrance panel also provides the same function of entry illumination. This function allows for crew entry and crew exit. It is powered by the ground handling bus available when the cabin door is opened. ATR 72-600 aircraft are equipped with an emergency lighting system including external lights, an evacuation path marking on the floor, ceiling lights, and exit lights. Emergency exit lights are controlled from the cockpit and from the flight attendant station. The cockpit control has on, armed, and disarmed positions. If the emergency lighting system is disarmed when the aircraft is powered, a caution disarm light illuminates on the signs control panel. Attendant control panel. When the system is armed, the emergency lights will automatically illuminate as soon as DC standby bus voltage drops below 18 volts or both DC generators are lost. Depending on availability, the system is powered either by DC standby bus via a voltage reducer or by integrated 6-volt batteries with a 10-minute capacity. They are extinguished once DC standby bus voltage reaches 20 volts or when at least one DC generator runs. On the ATR 600, the cockpit lighting is provided by the Cockpit Integrated LED Lighting System, CILLS. The system, composed of a set of control panels, lights and power supplies, provides and regulates the illumination of the flight deck areas. ATR 600 cockpit lights controls. Display units have their own brightness and contrast controls. The IESI Integrated Electronic Standby Instrument brightness setting is adjusted using the plus and minus keys of the instrument. Located on the right lower pedestal on the light panel, the MIP PED rotary selector turns on and controls intensity of the main instrument panel MIP components and the pedestal, the overhead rotary selector performs the same control function for overhead panels.
อยู่เดี๋ยวรู้วิธีเดินไปถ่ายรู้ตัวย่อนะ
ตัวเหมือนจบธรรมดาเลย
On the cockpit signs panel, the No Device switch turns on the associated sign on the passenger service units, PSU, in the cabin. A single cabin chime is associated with any switch position change. A No Device memory cyan light illuminates in the temporary selection window when the switch is selected on. The seatbelt switch illuminates the Fasten Seatbelt associated sign on the passenger service units, PSU, in the cabin. This switch is also associated to a single cabin chime. The cyan seatbelts memo illuminates in the temporary selection window when selected on.
นี่ห้องมันร้อนเองหรือว่าเหตุการณ์มันดีเลยร้อนครับแต่ไม่
The water and waste system consists of a water tank of 15 litres of fresh water. The tank is attached behind the toilet unit in the pressurized section of the aircraft. A potable water service panel, located on the left side of the fuselage, aft from the passenger door. A toilet with an integrated 70 litres tank and pump. A toilet service panel located below the potable water service panel. Potable water system and toilet system are independent. Tank is refilled through a port and a valve located on the potable water service panel. An overflow system consists of a pipe connecting the upper part of the tank to the overflow port on the service panel. Water is distributed by gravity from the tank to the wash basin and evacuated directly outside through a drain. Toilet system is refilled under pressure through a port located on the toilet service panel. When flushing, a motor pump filter takes water from the tank to spray the toilet basin, and the water goes back to the tank. The tank drains to a service vehicle through the toilet waste drain valve and a standard coupling located on the toilet service panel. In case of doors system failure, refer to the Master Minimum Equipment List, Chapter 152. This cabin lighting recommendation is to enable the fluorescent floor emergency exit indications to be completely charged before the flight. Thus, indications will be sufficiently bright in case of evacuation.
Your answer is correct. Your answer is correct.
อยู่กูก็ไว้แล้ว
Your answer is correct. Your answer is correct.
ไฟอินฟลูเอนซ์ไม่มีไม่ถูกทำยังไม่ทำ
Your answer is correct.
แอร์นี่ก็คือสายแอร์คือแอร์วิเศษไฮดรอลิก
Your answer is correct.
เป็นตามไม่ทำความเร่งว่าอะไรดูดิสิไปแล้วดูตรงนี้ก่อนไอ้คือเป็นตามไม่ทำ
Your answer is correct.
ไอ้คือตัว
Your answer is correct.
ต้องมีเอาไว้ไม่เสร็จไม่ได้เป็นแลนดิ้งเกียร์เกียร์ไม่ได้เป็นซิสเต็มเป็นเบนซ์ไปแล้ว
Your answer is correct.
มีวิธีการซิสเต็มหรือวิเศษนะครับดูแล้วก็คงมีแล้วแต่ว่ามีต้องมีตัดต่อเป็นค่อนข้างหลัก
Your answer is correct.
ลงไปได้ไหมครับไม่ได้ครับคือไม่มีอยู่ช่วงหนึ่งที่ดึงกดให้มันเข้าฝั่งขึ้นมา
Your answer is correct. 'Your answer is correct.
นี่คือการทำแล้ว แต่ว่าเดี๋ยวนี้ผมทำผมไม่เสร็จ
Your answer is correct.
ทำบทศูนย์ จริงๆอะเราไม่ได้ตัดต่อไม่ได้ตัดต่อว่าเริ่มจากพอขนาดมันชื่อว่า
Your answer is correct.
แอดมินไทยต้องเลื่อนดูไมค์หน่อยเล่นหน่อยหรือว่าก็รับประทานคือถ้าไม่เห็นชื่อเลยก็จะไม่รู้ว่าสิทธิ์ใครได้
Your answer is correct.